Hello and welcome back to Elvis Auto Reviews. Today I am back in Mercedes-Benz of Seattle to review this surprisingly well-made Mercedes-Benz GLA 250. Without further ado, let's break this vehicle down and complete a review. Now technically this is the second generation of the Mercedes-Benz GLA since 2016. They've been rocking with this body style, but this is a facelift of that, and you get these LED high-performance headlights which contour based on driver input to give you proper illumination of the road ahead of you. Now this is really important, but you also get a winged grille that has inserts within it that's faceted on top of a hexagonal main grille. Now when you look at this main grille, you will also find a camera because this vehicle has the technology package. This will give you a view of what's in front of your vehicle so that you don't hit this on any of the curbs in front of you. Along with that, you also get parking sensors, which are essential in tight parking spaces. You can configure the sensitivity as well as how loud they get in the infotainment system. Besides that, you get the basic fog lights on a fake grille, and these lower air inserts allow the vehicle to channel air around the vehicle for better aerodynamics as well as cool the engine. In my opinion, this looks a lot better than it did in 2016, and this look has grown on me. I never liked the GLA, but since today, once I got the keys in my hand, it's really started to grow on me. You also get the hood, which has the basic Mercedes design elements on it. Two of the body lines running into the A-pillar, and then two in the center. You also have the Mercedes-Benz emblem embedded between these two body lines. Now underneath the hood of this rather innocent looking GLA 250, you're going to find Mercedes-Benz's really well made turbocharged inline four-cylinder, which pumps out 221 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. Now this is mated to an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission made in-house by Mercedes and connects to the all-wheel drive drivetrain, which is also known as 4MATIC. Now all of that will get the vehicle to 60 miles an hour in just around 6.4 seconds. It's not too fast, but then again, it's not too slow since this is a compact SUV. If you can even call it an SUV, I'd say it's more like a larger hatchback, but this is a really good vehicle for people that want to commute in the city but also want a little bit of space. Now one thing I did notice about this engine is that the turbocharger is right over here, and it's a top mount system which gives it better performance. This is usually seen in performance vehicles, but Mercedes-Benz has put it in this small compact SUV, which really shows that they might be putting their Formula One engineering into a base model car. At the wheels, you're going to find the 97R styled 5-arm 10-spoke wheels, which are free of cost, and you can definitely upgrade these. These are 235 millimeters in width and 18 inches in diameter. This is a square sub, meaning that all the wheels are the same size. In my opinion, these don't look too good, but they also don't look bad at all. You can definitely upgrade these, and I would advise doing so since they're only about $400 to $700 of an upgrade. Now here we are at the side of the GLA, and now I will talk about why I used to not like the design of this GLA. It starts at A-Class, and then it becomes a GLC, and then it continues being something, and then it goes back into being a GLC. But the instrument cluster, whenever you start the car, is a GLE, which to me makes no sense. But what does make sense is getting this denim blue metallic color, which is $750. It's different from anything you'll see on the road, and it definitely makes this vehicle look different. It also blends in something I absolutely despise: plastic fenders. Now, I don't think that even the AMG appearance package can fix this, but if you can get an AMG just to get rid of these, I think you should. This does have an AMG, yes, it has the AMG 35, has the same engine, but it makes a little bit more power, I believe 302 horsepower, and it also sounds better. Now, this doesn't look bad in any way, it's just not my personal taste, and I think the GLC looks miles better, and it's also in a similar price field. So this is really about being compact as opposed to worried about having to pay too much. Now, I do notice this little chrome piece that's running along on the bottom, which looks interesting. I don't see it tie into anything else because these mirror housings have also been turned into black plastic. So this is very interesting, and you do have, actually it does tie into something. This has the mirror trim that is in chrome. The AMG night package would make this all black, but then again, I don't think it's worth putting the AMG appearance package on this. It's a economy car. It's not going to look good, but it doesn't look bad. So this might not make sense as to what I'm saying, but this still is something. Now, this vehicle does have the technology package like I mentioned earlier, and that also gives us keyless go. So anytime I want to close the car, I can simply press that and the mirrors fold in. That is also part of the technology package, but if I did want to step into the vehicle, all you have to do is put your hand in the handle. It'll do everything that you wish. The GLA gets 24 in the city and 34 on the highway. Considering that this is an inline 4, that's not too bad at all. Now you will have to worry about how much you're going to pay for gas because the minimum octane rating is 91. Now I saw a lot of people not know about this about their Mercedes vehicle at the gas station, but once you're fueling up, you take this and put it inside this little hole so you don't scratch your paint or your plastic fenders, and then you fill up. At the rear of the GLA, you will find the chrome GLA 250 badge and tell everyone you have a base model GLA, a chrome Mercedes-Benz logo, and a chrome 4MATIC badge to tell everyone on the road you have an all-wheel drive Mercedes and nothing else. They only come in all-wheel drive these days unless you find some used GT coupe, which is a real drive for the Black Series, but we don't talk about that. Anyways, you have a chrome running board which is ready for you to get scratched. I don't understand why Mercedes puts it there, but it does give it a classy look. You also have chrome exhaust tips, and I do air quotes again because they're very, very fake. Above that, you'll find the reflectors, which are government mandated, and these very aggressive and angry looking taillights. These are LEDs and they look quite nice. And let's pop the trunk right here. Now, something that's going to hurt in the trunk test is this little divider, which blocks off any view of the outside world into what's ever in your trunk. Not that it will be too expensive because you drive a GLA. Now, this can actually be changed to not come up with the rear deck lid, just in case you had stuff resting on top or just didn't want it to go up for whatever reason. I will set this back here because I don't want to mess anything up. You also have lights on one side with a little hook that you can hang your dry cleaning if you ever got it. You also have anchors for nets if necessary. Underneath this little net, oh my, I don't understand why it just did that, but let's change the camera angle. It's inside the tailgate. You're going to find the front tow-away hanger, the little what seems to be a subwoofer back here, and nothing to help you change a tire. I don't know why it's like this, but I guess it is. Maybe Mercedes-Benz changed something for 2023. You have little cubbies on each side which are really cute. You can store maybe a water bottle in here. Let's carry on with our trunk test. Now, for whatever reason, yes, it shall work. You know, it's actually quite comfy in here, but there is no interior trunk release, so I have to use the key. Now, the rear seats really aren't that bad. Let's start off with this door panel. Now, this does have the Burmester 3D high-end surround system, which is an $850 option. In my opinion, well worth it. Handles bass, mids, and highs really, really well. There's no peaking like the Harman Kardon used to do. You have a nice cubby, which is big enough to store a big water bottle and a Red Bull can. You also have aluminum handles, which aren't completely aluminum. It's only the face that faces you. A plastic mirror switch, and the lock and unlock buttons, which are nice for rear seat passengers. Now, in terms of comfort, this is actually quite nice. I have a nice foot room, really good knee room, about 4 inches, and then headroom is a lot better since we have this panoramic sunroof. The rear piece does not move, but it's nice to have a view of whatever is happening outside. This vehicle does have the black Mbux. It's not real leather, it's imitation leather. It does smell pretty good. You also have white stitching on it, and in my opinion, this is the way to go. I'm not a big fan of real leather from Mercedes. I think it wrinkles a little bit too easy, and over time, it just doesn't look really good. Mbux is always the way to go. Always looks great, doesn't rip. Stain resistant as well. You can wash this with a wet cloth and it'll always look brand new. You also have 2 climate control vents, which are the spinny ones, which are my favorite. I believe these illuminate with the 64-way color. Ambient lighting, which is an option in this vehicle. The little net on the back of the seat. And that's pretty much it for the back. Let's move on to the front. Here we are in the interior of the GLA 250. Excuse me if I've said GLA, GLC. This car's kind of forgotten about in the Mercedes-Benz lineup. I wanted to talk about this little trim we have here because they say it's the swirled finish, which is free of cost, but I don't see any swirls on this. Now, while we are here, you have the seat adjustment, which is pretty good. There's no headrest or thigh support adjustment on this. You also have the memory for 1, 2, or 3 drivers. Over here you have the side view mirror position changes along with the rest of the mirror controls. Lock and unlock, chrome handle, same thing as you had in the rear seats. And you get the light options over there with the swirly climate control vent. In my opinion, it's great. You can see the tweeters for the Burmester 3D high-end surround system, and it works really well. Let's start the vehicle up. Push to start, starts right up. Radio's going, and you have this little gauge cluster over here. What I do like about this new Mercedes-Benz MBUX system is that you can change everything to be at your convenience. You also have different selections for whatever you wish to do. You can also change the display. Might take a second, and there you go. All your little information is right over here. It's quite good. Right, steering wheel. You have your left side over here for this main screen, and then this one for the infotainment system, each of which are controlled really easily. You can also control this screen through this trackpad, which is my preference because there's haptic feedback. You actually feel like you're doing something. You also have your option for opening the parking cameras, your vehicle settings, your individual button, your navigation, radio, and telephone controls, along with your volume control and other options like that. You also have a charging port for USB-C only, and then there's the cigarette lighting port over there, storage, along with 2 cup holders, which are decently sized. Inside here, it goes down pretty deep, about 2 fists worth. There is a new charging cable for people that like to charge the phone in their vehicle. More of that swirl trim on the dash, but this also encapsulates the 64 color ambient lighting system, which I can show you through here. All you have to do is go into comfort, I believe, select ambient lighting, go to color. You can do multicolor, or you can choose whatever you wish. Let's say green for whatever reason. Floor mats, trim. I believe there's a light hue from this reflection onto there. But overall, it's a really good MBUX system. I went really in depth with the GLC that I reviewed about 2 years ago, but this really hasn't changed. This is basic Mercedes modern era styling of an interior, and it functions really well. Foot on the brake, put the car in drive. Turn it to sport mode because why not? Drive away. Let's start off the comparison with the 2023 BMW X1 xDrive 28i. It also uses a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder that has been turbocharged like the GLA. It makes 241 horsepower, which is 20 more than the GLA. From the exterior, in my opinion, it does look better. It's got better road presence than the GLA. It does have the same problem, however, with the plastic fender liners. This can actually be fixed by getting the M Performance Appearance package. In the interior, in my opinion, this is better than the GLA. It just looks more upscale, and it looks like you're paying almost $50,000 for a small SUV. Next up is the Audi Q3, a vehicle I like less than the GLA simply because I am not a fan of Audi SUVs. I think they drive a little bit too soft. This may look a little bit better than the GLA, but it's not my personal choice out of the three. I'd go BMW, then I'd go with the Mercedes, and then this Q3. I am biased against Audis though. I only like the RS5. The interior is, in my opinion, better than the GLA. The GLA is kind of just boring and looks like every other base model Mercedes interior, whereas this has a little bit more technology, Audi has always been ahead of the game with their technology. The infotainment can be a little bit difficult to use at times, especially when driving, but once you get the hang of it, it's genuinely not that bad. I decided to throw a curveball in here with the 2023 Jaguar E-Pace. In my opinion, this looks really, really good for a small SUV, and it would be my choice out of the bunch. The base price is $48,000. You get quite a bit of features for that. No panoramic sunroof though, so if you wanted to spec it exactly how the GLA is spec'd, then you'd run around $52,000, which is pretty hefty for a vehicle of this segment. Then again, inflation is a thing, and I'm still stuck in 2020. Looking at the interior, in my opinion, this is better than the GLA. It's oriented a little bit better for a user experience. I like the steering wheel a lot more. Looking at a Jaguar badge is always nice. Full digital display like the GLA, and overall it just feels a little bit more luxurious in here. And that is the complete review of the 2023 Mercedes-Benz GLA 250 4MATIC. This is a great vehicle, but not for a person with my driving style or living conditions. I pictured this as a family of 3 living in a downtown environment, and they needed a slightly bigger car that's not too big for not parking well in a downtown or urban setting. Now, this is $47,920 with every single option that has been configured on this vehicle. This is not the most affordable option, as you can actually buy a GLC for the same price, but the base price for this is $39,000, meaning that it can be affordable if you're willing to buy this. It's not a terrible vehicle, and it's not the greatest vehicle that Mercedes-Benz produces, but sure, it does have the quality that a Mercedes-Benz vehicle should. That is all for today. Thank you very much for watching, and please do consider subscribing, and remember to keep on driving.